नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जी नाम। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ये मैंने जो सर हमेशा ही प्रभुपाद के ही प्रणाम मंत्र से शुरू करते हैं सब कुछ, लेकिन आज प्रभुपाद का जो प्रणाम मंत्र मैंने बोला ना, वो बहुत ही बॉटम ऑफ माय हार्ट अपना ग्रैटिट्यूड शो करने के लिए बोला है। There's no way we can ever pay back to Srila Prabhupada for what he has done for us. Actually, you know what? It is always mentioned, like, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was asked one time, where would you like to stay in the last day of your, you know, life? So this particular question was actually asked by Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj to his disciples. And one of the disciples said, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada will stay in Mayapur, will stay in Jagannath Puri, will stay in Vrindavan. So then, he said, you all are neophytes. You all are neophytes, and that's why your understanding of everything is not so clear. And then everybody was very shocked, like, what answer the Guru Maharaj wants to give, Prabhupada wants to give. He said, I asked the same question to my father, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and according to him, he would like to see. I've already discussed this topic with you guys so many times. And when it was asked, why, why Kurukshetra? And he said, wherever there is the intensity or there is a need of the seva, when the seva is performed in that place, it pleases law, it pleases, the Lordship more. For example, I'm thirsty right now, I'm dehydrated right now. If somebody comes and give me a glass of milk, it's not going to work on me. If somebody comes and give me lemonade, that would be a great help. So same way, what Srila Prabhupada has given to us, we can only understand when we experience that. But I'm telling you, you guys already living in the West, so you guys, already have enough of experience of Western culture and everything. How people are exposed to this material world, how they get carried away, how they're influenced by it. We already know about all that, right? But when you are preaching, or when you are involved in a temple, when you are involved with the activities, and when you're involved with people, when you interact with them, when you talk to them, all kinds of people are coming on your way. Definitely, you are experiencing that also. You're working there, you're living there. But I would say, no, my experience or my exposure is different than yours. किसका ज़्यादा किसका कम है, doesn't matter. But the way this Western mindset works, it's really not that easy to understand. Any Western devotee you see who is doing, devotional service seriously, we should pay obeisances to him, because if he's doing it, he must have had enough of, Sukritis in his previous life, which he has acquired. Otherwise, ordinary person cannot. No way. It's just very difficult to be Krishna conscious, especially in the environment where everything is not very conducive. You know, I have to understood this thing that Srila Prabhupada, whatever he has done, he has done. I don't think so anybody else will be able to do it. So many people we can see, so many people coming up, so many people they are coming up with the Tattva Siddhanta, everything is there. Huh? Not a big deal. But again, mhm. So today I was just like, trying to analyze how the summer has come and how the summer is affecting the West. You know, in the France, I've heard that on the roads, I think red lights are melting. I don't know whether it's AI generated or it's real. It is also mentioned that tires are getting melted. In the
So which
UK,
it's true. The Europe is entirely on hot
no, Europe, I've been
warning.
living in Europe, I know
Yes,
no,
bro.
the condition. And you see, like 2, 3 years, 4 years back, one time when I was talking to a friend of mine and he was so proud and he was saying, see, we don't need fans. Okay. We always have very pleasant environment here. We don't need fans. And I'm telling you, since last 3, 4 days, I'm suffering like anything because of no fan. Hmm. So when I came to Skopje, we went to have lunch, and when we went for the lunch, Roji took me to one of the best Italian restaurant which is existing since 1835 or something. Matlab, their branch is like 1835. They're running it. So we thought let's have an authentic pizza because I told him that I don't like pizza here and there, only unless it is made in an authentic Italian way. So probably said, okay, let's go, let's see. We went there, there was no electricity. And again, I sat there for about 45 minutes waiting for the electricity to come, but I was sweating like anything. And then he when we came out and then when we were driving, immediately Prabhuji said all the red lights are not working. It means there must be something major happen in the entire Skopje. There's no electricity. So you see, earlier they didn't need fans or something. Now they want AC in the West. Before that, there was no such concept of power backup because there was no power cut at all. Then we went to better when we went to a better restaurant to eat. There they had a power backup. So only that had a power backup. Otherwise, in the West, nobody has power backup. In Macedonia, some nice places they have power backup. So what I'm seeing is that we cannot just be comfortable in this material world. This is what I wanted to tell you with my realization. No matter how much we try, we can never ever be happy or comfortable in this material. Today, whatever is comfortable for us is may not be comfortable in the future. Like Shadbury, Nana, you might be enjoying so much that it's always very, lot of snow is there and it's very beautiful out there. But you saw how the how this also melted the ice. I mean the snow this time, huh? And so the entire world is retaliating. So again, King of Vena's story, how Mother Earth went to Prithu Maharaj, and Prithu Maharaj actually wanted to kill Mother Earth because when the Rishi Munis and everybody said that Mother is not producing any crops anymore, and practically people are starving and they're dying out of hunger. He said, "Let me kill this Bhumi." And then Bhumi Devi immediately took the form of Gomata. And she went and she apologized. And the reason she gave is that, I was producing everything. But people were using that for their own sense gratification. Nobody was actually making the offerings to Vishnu. Although Vishnu is the main proprietor of everything. So the way, it has been explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, I was just thinking that maybe that time is going to come once again. I don't know, but Prithu Maharaj was like, There's a lot of purity in him. Are we going to have somebody who will be actually able to do something like this? That killing one another, the mother is getting, she is getting scared and again appearing in front of that particular person. That much purity hasn't left yet, and everybody in this material world is trying his best to be comfortable. हर तरीके से we want to be comfortable. Everywhere we want to be comfortable. Like definitely like I'm very comfortable being in the AC. But this first AC I got in like last 10 days. In Vrindavan, we never get out of the house because of because we're all the time lying down in the AC. So this comfortable life in this material world would not exist forever, and it's temporary. So the most important, why I'm bringing this point is, the most important thing is bhajan. We should actually ultimately try to conclude that unless we perform bhajan, we won't be able to stay happy out here. Even for to perform bhajan, sometimes we think that some conducive environment is required. But जितनी ज्यादा विपरीत परिस्थिति होती है ना, जितना ज्यादा हमारे जीवन के अंदर डिफिकल्टीज होती हैं, ऑब्स्टेकल्स होते हैं, जितना चैलेंजेस होते हैं, डिवोशनल सर्विस परफॉर्म करने का मजा ही अलग है। एंड आई एम टेलिंग यू, जितने भी सक्सेसफुल साधु संत हुए, तो ऐसा कोई भी साधु संत नहीं है जिसे भगवत प्राप्ति जो है ना वो आराम से बैठे करनी है। तुम जस्ट पिकअप करो और मुझे बताओ, कोई है ऐसा साधु जिसको बस 2 मिनट में भगवान मिल गया? इवन भरत, जो लोग कहते हैं कि प्रहलाद महाराज, ध्रुव महाराज को 6 महीने के अंदर भगवान की प्राप्ति हो गई थी। किस तरीके से ऋषि, किस तरीके से नारद मुनि ने दिखाया था कि देखो पर्वत देख रहे हो पीछे, तुम पूरा का पूरा पर्वत जो है ना, दैट एंटायर माउंटेन, ऑल दोस माउंटेन्स यू सीइंग, दे आर actually made of his wood, his sorry his what do you call, his bones. And because of whatever devotional services he has performed in his previous birth, he has attained God in like 6 months. But previous birth activities are required or needed. Suppose by any chance if we leave, like you said, you are already late. You should have start practicing and everything like 20, 30 years back only. 30 years back maybe. Maybe when Lalit Krishna Guru was born, you should have started chanting Hare Krishna that time only. Why I'm saying that? Because another 15 or 20 years, I don't think so we'll be able to become more sincere because of the environment, because of the restlessness in the environment. We just imagine today, somebody just came up and started shooting the, in Germany, so many people died, you know, just randomly they started shooting and killing innocent people. Eventually, in all the ways, time is getting more and more difficult. Carl is absolutely ready, sitting there to eat all of us. Whatever devotional services we perform today may or may not may have some effect or impact. Otherwise, forget about everything. Am I right? I mean, we have so many excuses, yeah, family, friends, this and that. To get these obligations, we cannot just get rid of them. But still, with them also, we have to behave like an unchaste woman. Being an unchaste woman means you're keeping Krishna in your heart, no matter what you're doing. So just like an ordinary woman who is like, in love with her boyfriend, all the time thinking about her boyfriend and performing all her activities, very sincerely, we have to also behave the same way so that we can actually form all our devotional life actually the proper way. You know, and second thing, apart from this, the second thing is Jada Bharat. I personally feel very inspired from Jada Bharat because Jada Bharat is the best person who actually acts or behave in such a way that nobody takes him seriously. you know, and because of that, Jada Bharat jo hai, he's in the same, he's in a very safe environment where nobody's taking him seriously. Actually, it's good that nobody's taking us seriously. It's really a blessing, that we have nobody, who's praising us so much and, paying us obeisances, unnecessarily increasing our false ego, or, trying to gratify our, false ego, or trying to cultivate our false ego. It's always best, just let us become two people. One unchased woman who's doing whatever needs to be done, but keeping the lover in the heart. And second, become Javaran, become मूर्ख उन सोसाइटी. जब आप मूर्ख हो जाते हो समाज के लिए तो भाई साहब मजा आ जाता है. I'm telling you, I have a very good example. Like, whenever there's a temple program or whenever there's a temple meeting, everybody is calling me, and then, then we are making the strategy, how we can do, what we can do, everything is there. But recently, when there was a family, there was a marriage in my family, and when they were discussing anything, nobody even was bothered to ask, "Hey, what do you think? What is your opinion?" and I was very happy. Why was I happy? Because everybody was trying to be so smart. Whatever they were doing, it was all coming out as blunder, which is okay. They have their own karmas. Hmm. But I was enjoying it. Why I was enjoying it? Because I know for them, I'm a useless person. And this is what my safe zone is. Huh? So being a Jada, and being in a safer zone is the best option for all of us. That actually protect us from falling down, getting carried away, and it also protect us from false ego and protect us from Maya also. Maya would not also have so much of effects or so much of attacks on you, because Maya is also understanding the same thing. So become what? Jada. So I was just thinking that when you behave like a Jada, you're always safe. Nobody is bothered to know what your opinion is. Nobody wants to know what your opinion is. And this is the best thing. You may not get so much of respect in that case. Or even if you get getting respect, but nobody cares about your opinion, that is also okay. Hmm? So why I'm telling you, because this is what I've been observing since last couple of days. Actually, the marriage which happened was very nice. It was a very beautiful wedding. Huh? The boy and the girl was really, really, really very nicely situated. And they were like, not even looking at anybody, not even talking to anybody. They were just doing one thing, listening to whatever I was saying properly. Yeah? Despite all that, the biggest blunder the boy has done is that he had never discussed with his father, you know, that something can be done. And I was just checking the chart of the father. Father is like, he's 1969 born. Oh, very intelligent man, yeah. And he is working since last like 40 years, 30, 35, 40 years. Throughout whole life he stayed in Netherlands and all. So if the boy would have taken the advice of his father, maybe certain things would have been better. You know? But it's okay. Father was also very happy. When nobody's asking me anything, I'm very happy. So I was thinking कि देखो जड़ भरत बन के कितना सुंदर. If you पूछे अगर कुछ ब्लंडर हो, so what people can do, can blame you. Right or wrong? So in the same way, जितने भी आचार्य हुए हमारे, they always try to behave in such a way that people in the entire world think that they're useless for them. When they're useless for them, then only they can be in service of Krishna. When you, if you really want to be in the service of Krishna, you have to become useless for the material. जब तक हम लोग संसार के कामों में फंसे रहेंगे, भक्ति नहीं करने वाले, भक्ति आगे बढ़ ही नहीं पाएंगे. ठीक है? हरे कृष्ण. Any टिप्पणी you want to add?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. ब्यूटीफुल रियलाइजेशंस प्रभु. हमको एक बार बहुत मतलब जड़ भरत की कहानी हमको बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगती है कि दिस स्टोरी ऑफ जड़ भरत super interesting how he was at a bhav level and due to the asakti or the innate tendency to be a controller he fell in love with the deer and due to that one slight mistake prabhu one slight mistake he had to take a form of deer and then he had to take a form again of a brahmana and then he had to behave in such a manner like an being born in a brahmana family but he was behaving like an outcast so it's very very मतलब ऐसा कहते हैं त्रिनादपि शुनिचेन so like that level of consciousness I believe it's the example of jada bharat like साधन त्रिनादपि शुनिचेन चरोरपि सहिष्णुना so Prabhu if you can reflect more on that that would be awesome someday on like the story of jada bharat and how we can learn from the character of him.
So many things we can learn from this character. The best thing we have to learn from this character is just become judge for the entire world. Become completely useless, you know. You may not get praise after some time. You may not get encouragement after some time. But क्या करोगे क्या लेके? What are you going to do?
Hmm.
What am I going to do? Hmm?
True
First,
Prabhu.
this is very important. JD, you want to add something?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so much for sharing this wonderful realization, Prabhu. Yes, I was reminding myself about that thing that you said about. Obviously, I agree with Jad Bharat ideology as well. But another thing, wonderful thing that you mentioned is like about chaste woman. We have to be chaste woman, and always remember Krishna. That is something that I was just saying myself. I think it's something that I have to practice nirantar, like every single moment to remember. Try to remember Krishna every single moment. And another thing was about respect. I was listening, my Guru Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, he mentioned that even if you have a drop of respect, like if even if you expect a drop of respect, you'll have to come back to this material world. So that's true, Prabhu. Without expecting a respect, we say we have to do these devotional services. And yeah, thank you again, Prabhu, for sharing this realization because it helped us remind all these principles. In Krishna consciousness, Prabhu, this is very great that we have association, Sadhu Sangha. Like Thirulalai Krishna Prabhu and I were discussing that Sadhu Sangha can do anything to one's life. And that's true, Prabhu. We are all exposed to such principles in our lives. But if not for today's Sadhu Sangha, while I'm taking my lunch at around 2:30 here in Canada, Prabhu message, let's do a class. You touched down realization, even though it was not shastrical study, you still touched down realization that still reminded us of our principles. So such humble reminders every day are needed. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
No, actually, this is very realization. What is realization? I told you before also. Experiences होते हैं कुछ realizations होती हैं. मैं तो अपने experiences शेयर कर रहा हूँ.
Yes, yes, experiences, yes.
Realization तो ये होंगे जब हम इसी के साथ पूरी जिंदगी you know what I mean?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
तो आपकी आवाज कट रही है.
हाँ प्रभु, थोड़ा थोड़ा कट रहा था
Hello.
आप. हेलो।
समझ में आया मैंने क्या बोला?
हाँ प्रभु,
हाँ,
आपने बोला आप
अब आ
एक्सपीरियंस
रही है, आवाज आ
शेयर
रही
कर
है?
रहे थे। हाँ 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 प्रभु,
हेलो,
आपने बताया आप
हाँ अब आवाज आ
एक्सपीरियंस
रही है?
शेयर। हाँ
मैंने बोला
हाँ प्रभु
एक्सपीरियंसेस, ये एक्सपीरियंसेस है. These are not realization, these are experiences. Why? Because when we will start living with them, then it will become a realization.
हम्म।
Right?
यस प्रभु।
अभी right now they're just experiences. अच्छा, 1 minute होल्ड करना, जरा होल्ड करना. But you know what? It is very important that we should be sharing the realizations every day with each other. Huh?
यस
You
प्रभु।
there?
यस यस
यस
प्रभु।
Because
प्रभु, यस प्रभु,
when start sharing the realizations with people, they will eventually become. Sorry, we should start sharing the experiences with each other. Because when we start sharing our experiences with each other, eventually we start living in the realizations. You know what I mean?
हम्म। यस प्रभु।
And then
ट्रू
the
प्रभु,
realizations will become our style, lifestyle.
ट्रू प्रभु,
ट्रू
Because you know,
ट्रू ट्रू।
एक शायर है ना, शायर जो होता है शायर और एक पोएट, वो क्या करता है? वो अपने आसपास की जगहों को देखता है. हम्म. और आसपास की जगहों से ही वो एक्सपीरियंसेस लेता है. और आसपास की जगहों को देखकर एक स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन होता है ना, वो क्या करता है? वो आसपास की जगहों के ही एक्सपीरियंस को ले लेके जोक्स बनाता है ना. उसी को परफॉर्मेंस करता है वो, उसी को दिखाता है, उसी से हमको इंस्पायर करता है कि हाउ कैन वी फाइंड फन इन एवरीथिंग, है ना? हाउ दे कैन बी फन इन एवरीथिंग. तो बस यही कंडीशन हम लोगों की होनी चाहिए, और यही एक्सपीरियंस हम लोगों को होना चाहिए, बहुत जरूरी है. ठीक है?
यस
यस
प्रभु।
प्रभु,
यस।
यू नो, इसीलिए कहता हूँ कि हम लोग कैसे, पहले से मैं डायरी भी लिखता था. इसीलिए लिखता था कि डायरी में एवरी डे यू गेट टू नो समथिंग न्यू. एंड फिर यू नो आफ्टर 5 years, एक्चुअली बता दो मैंने क्या हुआ था, कि मैंने किताब पढ़ी थी, एक प्रॉपर डिसाइपल की बुक पढ़ी थी, नाम नहीं बताऊंगा. तो उन्होंने ना अपनी प्रभुपाद को जो ऑफरिंग थी ना, वो लिखी हुई थी 1978 से. हाँ,
हम्म,
1978 से लेके 2004-5 तक की सारी रिलेशन, मतलब जैसे होता है ना कि प्रभुपाद डिसाइपल्स अपनी अपनी रिलेशन लिखी है. So
हम्म,
when I started reading his realizations from 78, or his offerings to Srila Prabhupada since 1978. So then when I was reading it, I was okay. I was not very, well, kind of, not very impressed with what he's writing and all. Huh?
हम्म।
Because
हम्म,
I could, ये है, ये होती है realization. So I was just like, listening to it, and then, okay. And I was reading. But when he started reading something in 2001 or two, that was entirely different than what he was writing in 1976 or 78, whatever. Okay? So what does it mean? It simply means that definitely he got evolved, right? What he was writing, he was writing like a kid. That time a 23, 24 years old boy was writing something, right? है. Now one sannyasi is writing. So now what he's writing is completely different, है ना? तो
यस
इसीलिए
हम्म,
जो रियलाइजेशंस भी होती है ना, ये जो एक्सपीरियंसेस भी होते हैं, उनके भी अपने अपने अलग अलग मीनिंग होते हैं,
यस प्रभु।
ट्रू प्रभु,
है ना? और हर व्यक्ति के अपने एक्सपीरियंस के अपने स्वरूप होते हैं. ठीक है? जो
ओके।
एक्सपीरियंस मैं जैसा ले रहा हूँ, हो सकता है मेरा नाम, इसलिए सपोज धीर ललित नाय, we have a different relationship, and Jagannath and I, we have a different relationship. And then Jagannath and Lalit Krishna, he has a different relationship. They both have a different relationship. So, my experience with Jagannath or my experience with Dheer would not be similar what Dheer is having with Jagannath, Jagannath is having with Dheer. Or Dheer is having with me and Jagannath is having with me. तो इसीलिए एक्सपीरियंसेस लाइफ में होने का मतलब पता है क्या होता है? यू बिकम चेतन. क्या होता है?
Chetan.
चेतन मतलब जिस व्यक्ति में जान होगी वो चेतन है.
Aware, हाँ.
Right? So when we become aware of what's going on around us, it makes us more attentive, more analytical, and more sensible towards bhakti, towards material world, towards our duties, towards every XYZ things. Then bhakti become very easy because we are not only seeing from our eyes, but we are seeing from our ears also. We are seeing from our heart as well. And then we are also discussing or taking the notifications or ton messages from our Chaitya Guru. Right? So being Chetan means being alive. Definitely we should try to be more and more analytical and attentive and Chetan or Chaitanya towards our surroundings, and we should try to relate everything to Krishna, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is
Yes,
what I want
Prabhu.
to share with you. Because in 5 6 days, the way I have sweat, the way I have suffered in this heat. I mean, वैसे तो I sometimes have commented that, oh, look at these Westerners, huh? Every year in summers they run to Western countries. Yeah, chalo, I'm not running because of the heat, but at least somehow I'm also making my escape, no? In the Western country in the summer when everybody's on off. Because everybody says, please come in summer because we will be on off. Right? So somewhere I
Mhm.
was saying, I'm doing the same thing. But today, when it's so hot out here and everybody's suffering in the heat, we ended up with being on the same level, right? So again, you never know why any Westerner is coming. Maybe they wanted to come to meet their families because it's summertime, everybody's at home. We just comment, right? We comment very easily. Yeah, look at these Westerners, they're going to the West every summer. अरे नहीं भाई, there must be some reason behind it. Anyways, जगन्नाथपुरी में आज जो है, जो स्नान यात्रा हुई है, actually one of the most hottest day in the year. Anyways, every year it's a very hot day. And when Jagannath is bathing and then he falls sick, how beautiful pastime he actually performs. But when the king was doing the arti, immediately the arti stopped. So everybody is saying there must be some indication. Last year Baldamji he fell off also. So things are not very nice in the world. But
Yes.
we should be surrendered to Krishna and always remember him. Like Prabhupada said, if my death will come, I'll consider that the Lord came in the form of Kal to take me back to Godhead. Actually, Second World War के time पे when there was a blackout, it was a very big instruction that there should not be any light or anything in the house. And I think Prabhupada was doing the arti that time. So Abhay Chanarvid, he was always fearless. So I started from Prabhupada, ending up on Prabhupada. Panchakalpatra Vaishya Prasanta
पति जन भाव ने पे वैष्णव पे नमो
Thank you,
नमः
Namo Namah.
अष्टमन की
Shivaya.
जय.
मजा आया लेकिन I really personally feel that we should have more and more, sometimes just casual sessions, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Also, one very important thing, let me just turn off the live. But anyways, from tomorrow, I'm going to receive you some audio files. हाँ, और चला मैं तुम्हारा जय जगदीश.
हाँ
Who
प्रभु
I'll
live
धीरे
is on. Who
धीरे
live
धीरे
on here.
okay. Oh, like yourself. Disconnect.